Hi guys, welcome back to another brand new Star Wars figure review. Now today we're going to be taking a look back in the Star Wars line and more towards the Power of the Force 2 side of figures in this review. And more specifically, as we look at the Power of the Force 2, we're going to be looking at one of the more specific waves of figures that came around, and that is the Shadows of the Empire wave. Now those of you who don't know, Shadows of the Empire was a multimedia franchise that Star Wars sort of brought in 1996, and this was to do with the special editions of the original three films that would be coming out the following year. It was sort of to build hype around that and just build more stories in. This was basically creating all the different elements of a film without creating an actual film. So this include a novel, which was written by Steve Perry, Shadows of the Empire here. There was also comic books, a video game, and there was also its own specific line of figures within the Power of the Force 2. And one of the first figures we're going to take a look at from this line is the villain, one of the main villains from this line of story of characters, and that is this character here, the Fallen character from Fallen, Prince Xizor, leader of Black Sun. That's the name of the organisation. Now before we look at him, we'll take a look at the packaging that this one comes in. Now as you can see, it's a very different style of packaging that they had for this in the Power of the Force 2 line. It's more specifically noted towards the fact that it is Shadows of the Empire. It's similar to how the Black series had sort of marked out Battlefront and Jedi Fallen Order for some of the specific characters out of that in their line. So this packaging was made specifically to be part of this era. So I picked this up on eBay recently. I picked this one and another certain character from the multimedia franchise, Dash Rendar, who I'll be giving you a look at in the next review, off eBay, and they came in these specific packaging. The packaging was all damaged, so I just decided, yeah, I'm just going to open these when I get them. So I've got them here, and it's just the specific design it has with it's the same as the Power of the Force idea, because this is from the regular Power of the Force line, whereas you can see it had the sort of green markings. And there was the earlier line with the orange markings, whereas this one has the purple marking, stating specifically that it is Shadows of the Empire and not Power of the Force. On the back here as well, it's a very different style of packaging to... It's sort of been very much retired when you look at the Black series now, but this has the special character bio, so you can pause the video and look at that if you so wish. If you want to read it, there's plenty there to see about. You also get other figures available in the wave, which is the more specific designs of Luke and Chewbacca seen there. There's Dash Rendar, which I'll give you a look at next. And there was also comic pack lines that came out in the review, including a 2-pack with Xizor and Darth Vader. This is a different Xizor figure that was also released at the same time, but again, is not one I'll be giving you a look at. And there's just other vehicles that were released in there. So this was a really good... Looking at this already, it already looks like a really good line, and with Lucasfilm marking its 50th year in existence, they've been doing a few sort of commemorative figures, the Black Series line with the Phantom Menace packaging, and I'm kind of hoping that if they look at doing some Legends figures, I think it would be amazing if they did Prince Xizor in the Black Series in this style of packaging, or Dash Rendar as well, because they've done it with Phantom Menace packaging. It'd be nice if they did some figures in this style packaging. So I saw Sith Lord 229 talk about that in one of his, and I just think it would be amazing if they did the same with this as well. One of these Prince Xizor or Dash Rendar packaged like this in Shadows of the Empire style packaging, because it just looks so cool, and it'd just be worth the grab. But yeah, that's what we got here with this Shadows of the Empire packaging. It's worth having. If you've got these, they're always a great hold on to. But yeah, that's what I got with the packaging there. We'll move on to the figure himself now. So, as I said there, Prince Xizor is the leader of the Black Sun, and for Power of the Force 2 figures, they always have their great level of sculpt that they have, just for sort of what they are. I mean, I've got a few other Power of the Force lying around as well. Like, my collection of them is not amazingly massive, because I wasn't really collecting Star Wars figures back in 1996. I mean, I was only like a little kid there. My main level of 90s toys was not Star Wars at all. It was more Ertl, Thomas the Tank Engine. That was my main thing, like that. That's what I spent a lot of my time collecting, but moving into this kind of thing really helps out. And also the reason I'm getting to this video now, because the day I'm actually releasing this video is the 1st of April 2021, and that is actually the 25th anniversary of when this novel, Shadows of the Empire, was actually published to the world. So this was the first time Prince Xizor actually made his first appearance in Star Wars lore, in Legends, and it was the same with Dash Rendar. I mean, Xizor had previously been mentioned in Darksaber by Kevin J. Anderson, which was published a year or so earlier, but this was his first full-on appearance in Star Wars media. So he makes his first appearance during the scene in which Vader is contacting Palpatine, and he's sort of in the room with Palpatine at the time. From his perspective, he's sort of in the room watching Palpatine talk to Vader, then it jumps ahead some time after Vader's revealed to his father parentage to Luke, and then Han has been in carbonite, so they have to rescue him. So we'll look first now at the accessories that this includes. So this is energy blades that are included with Prince Xizor. The comic 2-pack that came with Darth Vader included a different pike. So you had your choice of which one you wanted to get in the 1990s. If you wanted to get the one with the comic pack and have them both, or if you just wanted this specific version, you can. And the good thing about these energy blades is you can have them as one, held in the one hand, or you can split them, as seen here. It's a little bit of a issue, but you just simply split them like that, take them apart, and then you can stick them in both of his hands as though he is holding two of them, and it just looks really good for display. I've had him in display style with them sort of down there, because that's the only way I've been able to get him on the shelf without him falling over. That's without a stand. But you can't have, obviously I could have him with a stand if I wanted to, but I don't really have any spare at the minute. But this is just, I mean, the sculpt there on Xizor is just so good. I mean, I'm chuffed to own this guy in my collection. I really wanted to have him. I mean, I only read Shadows of the Empire back last year during lockdowns. I bought some more Star Wars novel content, and I thought this one's actually really good, and this guy's awesome. I'd like to have him in my set. And I picked this one in Dash Render or up on eBay fairly cheaply. I mean, they can be a bit pricey as well with getting them on eBay, but I managed to pick these two up for about 11 quid on eBay from the sellers. That was a decent price to pay, especially it wasn't great packaging, so I wasn't going to be cracking them open. And these are all the more worthwhile just to open up. I'll give you a rundown the articulation. It's Power of the Force series, so it's not Black Series style. It's just a swivel neck, swivel shoulders, swivel waist, and swivel hips. So it's more on the line of the 5 POA figures there, and it's just a good callback to 1996 with that. We do also get Xizor's robe, which is connected on there, but the thing is a right nightmare to get off, because I've taken it off once since getting him, and it was a nightmare getting it off and putting him on, so I'm just going to keep him as is. But here's a picture that I got off the site, the Figure Archive, where you can see him without his robe on. A very different style that we have there, but this one just really suits the pose that he has when he's looking at the just that when he's on the shelf. Basically, there's a good pose he has. It can feel like he's walking forwards as you have him on the shelves. There's a full look at him from behind as well. It's designed to be easily removable, but I'm just going to leave him as is. I mean, yeah, but Shadows of the Empire is always a good read, and it's good to celebrate 25 years of this multimedia franchise. I'm just going to zoom in on the figure now so you can see him better. So it's just that gruff look that the character has there, with the ponytail and just the side of hair sticking out. They've really got in, because Xizor's never been played by a specific actor, because he's only been through literature, comic books and video games. But that is just a very well done sculpt for the character in Legends lore. He has been mentioned in one canon piece of material, and that's the Galaxy's Edge cookbook, so I don't know if you'd really count that as him actually existing, but it'd be glad to bring him back into canon. I just think it'd be amazing to have different scales down there in his back, as seen, and just all the different movement, all the different like parts of his robe. I'm trying to get the camera to focus there, but there you go. There's all those different markings on his robe. That's actually a rough piece. It's not just drawn on. It looks like every single bit is carved in by hand, and just for figures from 1996 standards, this is just a fantastic addition. Just all the different things. It really wanted fans to get into this line of figures, and Xizor is just one of those to really add to just have in a collection. I mean, if you have a Xizor, it's good, and if you can hunt around on eBay and get a few, you can probably get one for a fairly reasonable price. You can get one used, that's either loose or carded. You should be able to get this guy reasonably priced. You can either get this variant or the variant that comes with the pipe from the comic pack. Either I don't know why the camera doesn't seem to want to focus on Xizor there. There we go. But he's such a good figure. Just got that great expression on his face as an evil character. So you can just really make out the figure for what it is. I mean, it's a fantastic one. I'd say if you want to get your hands on this guy, if you haven't got him, have a look on eBay, have a look on Facebook Marketplace. Have just basically lots of secondary market areas might be able to have him. When the shops reopen in April, later on in the month, you can probably go and have a look around and see if they've got some of these old Xizor figures in there. And as I said, it's the 25th anniversary of Shadows of the Empire's publication in 1996. So I think as well, if you want to go and have a look back at the novel, look back at the characters, the comic books, I think this would be a great one to see, just for this character alone. He has a good role in the book, and what leads up. He has a great it's sort of like a two-way triangle between him and Vader, both wanting to have ownership under the Emperor's command. That's kind of what it is. But of course, we got to know what happens. Something's going to happen between this and Return of the Jedi. Of course, he does have his encounter with Princess Leia in the novel as well. I'm pretty sure he encounters Luke. Of course, as you know, Vader doesn't, because he's got to show up in Return of the Jedi, having not seen Luke since Empire. But it's like a great sort of side character for him to encounter instead. But this is Prince Xizor of the Black Sun. Such a good character, great figure as well, especially from 1996 standards. Worth having if you've got him, and he's just a great guy. But if you haven't, you can have a look on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and see if you can get one for yourself at a fairly reasonable price. I'd say they'd be good to have. I really enjoyed looking at Prince Xizor here. I'll be back next with a review of the Dash Rendar figure, so do stay tuned for that. But until the next time, do drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All links are down there in the description below, and I shall see you in the next video.